You're listening to the Love Over Addiction podcast.
Before Michelle starts teaching on this episode, I want to tell you about our free guide sheet this month. And this month, it's all about self-care. And self-care is frankly all the rage right now, but we're not talking about the Instagram style, quote, hashtag self-care. That's the kind of self-care where you have to take 20 pictures of your nails, your skincare, or your bubble bath to create a social media post, only then to obsessively check the likes. So we're definitely not talking about that kind of self-care, because the reality of it is that's not self-care at all. Instead, we're talking about true self-care, the kind you can't find on any Instagram post. If you're not sure what that looks like, or you just want more ideas of what you can do, go to loveoveraddiction.com/self-care to get your free guide sheet today.
You know how we always say that addiction happens to good people, right? Well, I truly believe that. And I also believe that addiction can bring out the worst in the ones we love. Let me give you an example. Every few months, I talk to my ex-husband, and for the most part, this is polite and respectful conversation. Over the years, I've taught him that I will not put up with being bullied, and I have absolutely zero interest arguing about the past. If he goes there, I end our conversation very quickly. And I've created enough distance between me and addiction over the years to recognize when I am being baited for a fight. And most of the time, I don't fall for it. But a few weeks ago, I had a conversation with him concerning an important and touchy subject, and it did require me to see it through. And when I find myself discussing a topic with my ex-husband that requires my cooperation and thoughtfulness while still respecting my boundaries, I try to keep it short and sweet. The most important virtue that prevents me from throwing my gloves off and stepping into the ring is dignity. I try very, very hard to remain dignified. Why? Because it's the kind but strong choice. And when my back is up against the wall and every ounce of me wants to fight back or run for the hills and avoid, dignified is always the way out. So, after listening to him, I politely responded to his prickly words. I said, I hear what you're saying, and if I put myself in your shoes, I can see where you're coming from. I'm going to take a few days to think about what you shared, and I will call you back with some solutions. Dignity, right? You know what I got back, you guys? He mocked me. He literally started imitating me. And that's when it hit me. Addiction wants me to fight back. Of course, it's making fun of me for being respectful and mature, because addiction can't identify with those words. Addiction is manipulative and selfish. It takes from us and the ones we love, and it certainly doesn't consider other people's feelings. Addiction is immature and wants to bring us down to its level. Now, let's be clear. Men and women who suffer from addiction are very capable of having loving, thoughtful, and considerate conversations, but only when they are healing and healthy. That is exactly why it's so hard to love someone with addiction. Sometimes you can have a conversation with the one you love, and it's magic. They remind you why you fell in love with them in the first place. You see their goodness, their truest self, and it feels safe to be vulnerable. And then there are the times when you are no longer dealing with that loving person. You are partnered with addiction, and their words sting, and you feel tricked and hurt. So the next time you begin a conversation with your loved one suffering from addiction, first ask yourself, who are you dealing with? If it's addiction, detached and dignified are your goals. You've got this. I know it's not easy, but I am right here beside you. And we have a community of women ready to cheer you on. So please make sure you are not doing this alone.
Aren't Michelle's tips super helpful? Her knowledge, wisdom, and personal experience guides us through every situation with our loved ones. And that's exactly what you'll find inside our Love Over Addiction online program too. It's an in-depth program on not only how to handle the disease, but what you can start doing with yourself as well. We always say there's no pressure to buy today, or ever really, so this is a friendly reminder that the program is here for you when you're ready to really dive into your own healing. If money is an issue, we have payment plans to make the program more accessible for you. And if you're really not sure if the program will help you, you can get a free sample of the program by going to loveoveraddiction.com/LOV.